Hey guys, this is Chris back with another video today on my YouTube channel, which I think will be my second video up. Today we're going to be doing a YouTube experiment on Football Manager. I'm hoping to again produce this into a series and many other videos to come on this. Today we're going to do Jose Mourinho, where this basically evolves around seeing how they do at their rumoured club or new club. So we could do such as Cristiano Ronaldo rumoured to Man United, when Isco was rumoured for City, but he's went to Real Madrid now. But today we're going to be doing one of the biggest transfer moves, in my opinion. It's Jose Mourinho back at Chelsea. I know that this was a long time ago, but we're going to look at see how well he does there. He's a 49-year-old Portuguese manager who's been at Chelsea before. If we just look at the history. 6 clubs managed. That was his player stats there. I can't seem to find his manager stats for some particular reason. But we're going to go forward a year and see how he does at Chelsea, and then we'll be back shortly after that. Hey guys, this is me, Chris, back for the second part of the video today, where we'll be looking at Jose Mourinho's first season as Chelsea manager for the second time. So we'll just get Jose Mourinho up here and let him there. He seemed to have a pretty good season near the end there, with 5 wins on the trot there. Captain still John Terry. If we just go on to the Chelsea transfers for the season. Nope, history. There we are. He brought in Bruma from Sporting Lisbon. He brought in Astori, which is the biggest transfer there, as we can see. Yes, that is the biggest transfer that we can see. If we just go into the information. History. There we are. He managed to break into the squad for their first signing. He had 30 appearances for Chelsea, which is not a lot, but not a lot. What am I shouting? That is a lot of appearances to make in his debut season, along with players such as John Terry, Ivanovic and David Luiz to fight with at the back. He had an average rating of 7.16 again, which is a very good average match rating, with 1 assist from centre back. Well, as we can see, David Luiz is left, so he didn't have that much of a fight, unless we have another central defender here. No, that's the Belgian centre attacking midfielder. So we're just going to look at how we done in all the competitions. History. Nope. Overview. Fixtures. In the European Super Cup and the Community Shield, which were in the first 2 games of the season, he lost both of them. If we can look at the goal scorers. Nope. No. He lost 2 out of 2 there against Manchester City, where he lost 4-2 at Villa Park. And he also lost against Atletico Madrid in the Stadio Luis 2-1, which isn't a great start for Jose Mourinho this season. We're going to have a look at the Champions Cup. He knocked Chelsea out in the group stages, along with Paris Saint-Germain and Borussia Dortmund and SLB in the Portuguese League. We'll have a look at how he did in the Capital One Cup. He got knocked out in the first round there. Was it the first? The third round, which is the first round for them getting entered into the tournament. He got knocked out by West Brom on extra time, which again he's now lost the European Super Cup, the Community Shields. He's been knocked at the Champions League in the group stage, and he's not had a great start in the Capital One Cup there. So for Jose Mourinho to bounce back, he's going to have to win the FA Cup, the Premier League, hopefully. The FA Cup, he got knocked out by Peterborough, 3-1 in the third round. Peterborough managed to knock them out in the third round. Peterborough are a lower half Championship side. The Club World Cup, they got to they were 3rd place, which again isn't great. There's not many good teams in that. The Europa Cup, he managed to win the Europa Cup 1-0 in the Amsterdam Arena, with Frank Lampard, the man himself, getting the goal for them. And in the Premier League, let's have a final look. He finished 1st in the Premier League. so that makes up for it all. They beat Manchester City by 3 points and 3 goals, which is a good, solid season for Jose Mourinho to keep his job there. So I'm just going to fast forward one more season, or maybe a couple. We're going to fast forward one more season. I'm going to get back to see how well or worse he did this season than the last season. Now we're going to look at Jose Mourinho's second season in charge of Chelsea, and he is now 51 years old. We're going to look at the fixtures and results for all competitions. The European Super Cup, he won 3-1 to Barcelona there. That's a much improvement from last year, where he lost 2-1 to Atletico Madrid, and to beat Barcelona, who are, I assume, first or second in the BBVA, is a very, very prestigious game. We're going to look at the Community Shields now, and he again lost 3-1, Jose Mourinho, to Manchester City, and Chelsea did lose the Community Shield last season to Manchester City 4-2, but done City over in the league when they beat them by 3 points last season. In the Champions League, they lost in the final to Real Madrid, which is great. It is a great achievement. They done much better than last year. They got to the Champions League final. They beat Barcelona 4-3 and beat them at the Nou Camp to go through. Let's have a look at the Champions League here. Real Madrid beat them on extra time, goals from Cristiano Ronaldo and Karim Benzema. Petr Cech got injured in the 100th minute, which must have been the biggest downfall for them, but it was already 2-0 at this point. We've not looked at the transfers for this season. We're just going to see who they have brought in. Season 2013-2014, they brought in Martin Montoya from Barcelona, who is a young right back for them now, who looks to be a great future player. They also brought in Fabio Contrao to increase the defence there, because I don't think Ashley Cole will have been getting on a bit. He would have been in his early 30s, maybe middle 30s. They lost quite a few players this season, but a lot of them were on loan. The only players they lost who are worth any while was Michael Essien, who went to Atletico Madrid on loan, which is a big loss in my opinion, because I think he's a very solid central defensive midfielder to play in holding midfield. I also lost Bruma, who went on loan again to Leeds United. Let's see, a young player, 19-year-old Portuguese attacking midfielder, and they lost Victor Moses to Inter Milan for 10.5 million. Has Fabio Contrao and Montoya found it easy to get into the squad? Montoya has only made 7 appearances this season, so it looks like Ashley Cole has still managed to fight his way into the team, and also Montoya had only played 5, so it looks like either Ivanovic, I can't think of anyone else that could play right back apart from maybe Ivanovic, has fought their way into the squad again this season, and Montoya doesn't look like he's got a game. So we're going to go back to the fixtures again, and Capital One Cup, they were knocked out in the second round. You're not going to get a harder run than this with Manchester United and Manchester City. They did well to fight off Manchester United at Old Trafford, but couldn't do it on live television at Stamford Bridge, where they were beat 2-0 by Manchester City. In the FA Cup, they only got to the 5th round, being knocked out by North London derbies Chelsea. North London team Tottenham Hotspur, should I say. They were knocked out 3-0. So we're going to have a look at the couple of cups that weren't in that this season. The Premier League, they finished top again, only beating City narrowly by 2 points and 2 goal difference. So it's gone down 1 each time. Maybe next season that'll be 1 goal and 1 point. So the teams relegated in the league were Reading, Hull and Crystal Palace, and the Champions League places were Chelsea, Man City, Man United and Newcastle. So Jose Mourinho has had 2 fantastic seasons for Chelsea, and hopefully we'll be able to carry them seasons on next season. Next season will be our last season to see how well he has done there, and then we will call it a day and we'll make our overall opinion on whether Jose Mourinho has been good or bad. And to be honest, the expectation is just getting up and up. He should hopefully win the Champions League next season and also win the Premier League. And we're back for the final part of the video. where we're going to look at Jose Mourinho's third season in charge of Chelsea. So we're just, I'm not very good on the keyboard. We're just going to find Jose Mourinho and see where he is now. Oh, he's joined Manchester United. He joined them on the 23rd of May 2015. So he did, in fact, only join at the end of that season. So we will go to Chelsea to see how he did in his last season at Chelsea. Let's have a look. European Super Cup, he didn't enter. The Premier League, obviously entered the Community Shields. He won it for the first time under Chelsea's management. He beat Arsenal 2-0 after losing it consecutively twice to Manchester City. First, we're just going to look at transfers before we look at anything else. If we can. Transfers, history, all transfers, 2014, 2015. He signed Aaron Ramsey for a fee of spent 86 million this season. They signed Aaron Ramsey for a fee of £24.5 million. They signed Eric Lamela for £20.5 million. They signed Anita Vernon from Newcastle for £18.25 million. They got Robert Lewandowski on a free transfer, Costel Pantilimon on loan, and Johnny Evans for £22.5 million, which is a big fee to play for Johnny Evans. They lost Courtois to Barcelona for £26 million. They also lost John Obi Mikel and a Story for a joint fee of burst to Bayern Munich of around £30 million. They lost Branislav Ivanovic, De Bruyne, and Montoya to Manchester City, Real Madrid, and Leverkusen, and lost Robert Lewandowski in January for £22.5 million. So I'm just going to go back into the fixtures now to see how well they did this season after consecutive Premier Leagues and a Champions League final the season before. In the Champions League, they won the Champions League this season with a goal from Romelu Lukaku, the young star, who has seemed to break into the team, I think, this season. We're just going to have a look. He only played 17 games this season. He's still not fully broke into the side yet. He only scored 3 goals, one of them being the crucial Champions League final against fellow English side Manchester City. They beat Juventus, Inter Milan, Manchester United and Borussia Dortmund on their way to the Champions League, and ended up winning it at the Millennium Stadium, beating Manchester City 1-0. Capital One Cup, they got knocked out by Reading, which is not very good in the quarterfinals, which isn't great. They should have done better. I've been really disappointed with Mourinho's way in the cups, such as the Capital One Cup and the FA Cup. He also got to the 6th round before being knocked out by Arsenal, so he hasn't really played too well in these cups, but he's done very well in the league and the Champions League in the past 3 seasons. He did not play in the Club World Cup, the Euro Cup he didn't play in, obviously, and in the Premier League they finished 6th this season. They were just narrowly in the Champions League because of their Champions League winning place, knocking Manchester United out of it into the Europa Cup, also joined with Arsenal, Manchester City and Tottenham. So overall, now he's joined Man United. His Chelsea experience was very good in the first 2 seasons with 2 Premier League titles. They also won the Champions League in this final season before joining Man United, and he finished 6th in his final season, which is a big disappointment, but the Champions League makes up for that. So that's the end of the video, and I'd like to thank you for watching. I would be greatly appreciated if you could like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.